welcome to SLT Talk. I am your co-host, RudeBoyArtist, alongside
MrsMelaninReigns, and today we are here with Gravy. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yes. The Gravy Master, to be Pacific, right? So, hey, my man, look, tell us about your journey as a barber and how you got into barbering.
All right, so I got into barbering because just like probably a lot of people, we couldn't afford haircuts. So my mother got 5 kids. I got 3 brothers and 1 sister. So eventually it got to a point where my stepfather was cutting my hair, and they started packing me in school, and I just wasn't having that. And they was calling me milk dud and stuff like that. And I'm like, I come home to my mother, I'm like, look, if y'all gonna mess up my hair for free, y'all might as well buy me a pair of clippers. And then it was a wrap from there. I started cutting my own hair, messing myself up for a pretty good while, then started messing up my brothers. And once I got good enough, I started messing up people in the neighborhood. And then eventually I got good, so that's kind of how that went like that.
So, how long have you been cutting hair? And also, what has kept you consistent? Because yes, you started off, you told us what you was inspired by, but what kept you on that path of doing hair?
So I've been cutting hair for 16 years now. I've been cutting hair since I was 12 years old. And what's kept me consistent is overall the ability to be able to use it to my benefit, like maximize it. Like when people think of barbering, they think simplistic thoughts like cutting hair, making money. I think about touching different people, utilizing it for opportunities, and just finding different ways to manifest just overall positivity and wealth. Because there's a multitude of ways you can teach how to cut hair. You can have seminars about cutting hair. You know what I mean? It's just like you get to meet so many people, have so many conversations. You get to be a therapist. So for me, it's a never-ending, ever-expanding business. Every single year, I find something new that I can do with cutting hair. So that's kind of what keeps me consistent, because I yearn to figure out what else I can do with it.
With the consistency, right? It's always a balance with. So, what has been your most challenging part in your career or your journey with cutting hair?
The most challenging part for me has been not becoming stagnant with my skill. You know what I mean? Because once you get to a certain level of cutting hair, you kind of already, it's like water, it just flows. So in order for me to stay consistent with the skill, I gotta kind of like put myself in areas where I see people that's better than me, because I'm always willing to learn. You have to always be a student, and sometimes you'll get to the point where as though, you kind of like not moving with it. You know, once you cut your clients and everybody liking your cuts, it doesn't become challenging no more, and that becomes a challenge because then you sometimes get bored and stuff like that. So I say that's the hardest part for real.
I can tell from your demeanor, because I've never met you before, and your words so far, that you're a wealth of wisdom. I heard you touch on community, and here at Speak Life Tour, we're really big on community. You talked about, it's not just about the hair and the money for me. I'm touching people, I'm meeting people. So is there a connection between you and the community that you've been able to bridge that gap since cutting hair?
Yes. So since I've been cutting hair, there's a lot of things that I did personally, like my own endeavors that I was trying to figure out, which I did. So I do events, a lot of them unpaid events, or if they is paid, then I take a huge discount off the strength of who would benefit. So I done probably did over, at this point, maybe like 350 events. I used to work with an organization called Live Chair Health. So they used to pay me to go and cut children's hair, older women, people in senior citizen homes, retirement homes, and I just used to, it used to be free to them, you know, and I used to just go all across Maryland, so like Suitland, Maryland, Southern Maryland, Montgomery County, like any way you can name it. But for me, being able to provide some type of financial relief in this world is a good thing to me, for the simple fact that I know how hard it's been. And I know I'm no stranger to, you feel what I'm saying, hard times. And then plus, when I was working with Live Share, they predominantly dealt with people in the Black community that was in areas where they had health disparities. But you know, health disparities go hand in hand with financial stability, because you would rather provide for your family than make sure that you're healthy. So most times people won't go to the doctor, but they'll go to work every day to make sure they provide for their kids, but their health is steadily declining. And currently I'm working with Cut the MD, which is an organization that works with people with diabetes. But you know, people with diabetes, either they aren't experienced in what diabetes is, so they're scared of it, or you know, they just scared to you know, admit the fact that they had diabetes. But being as though I have the means to provide them a haircut, that's like a good trade-off. They come get a haircut, they willing to talk to the diabetes specialist, and then they end up figuring out like, wow, I can actually manage this and I can actually live a normal life. So I'm kind of like the liaison between the communities. Use my skills to provide, you know, assistance in getting these people what they need, because in the black community, we scared of a lot of things for a lot of good reasons. You know, we fearful of a lot of things like doctors and different things, because you know, we so used to people putting us in predicaments, and you know, we trying to listen to people. So I just kind of take their hand and guide them like, hey, I'm from the same neighborhood, I've been in the same position, these people mean you well. So yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned that feeling that you had for these people, because we met in barbering school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like around like 2021, maybe 2022ish, and like probably within like a month, maybe like 4 months into the barbering school, you was like, hey, look, everybody, I got this thing going on. I'm trying to go on Sundays. We're gonna go down there and feed the homeless, these haircuts. So I see your passion for the community. I just want to, you know, what inspired you to really step outside of your comfort zone? It's like, look, man, a haircut can change a life. So a lot of these people that are disadvantaged, you know, homeless, giving them a haircut could shape them up in so many ways that now that they feel like a brand new person, they could go out to a job interview. What inspired you to do that, and what was the thought process behind that?
All right, so for me, right, I'm always trying to utilize what I have to the maximum, but minimize waste. So when I seen that, you know, when I came to barbering school, I came to get my license. I'd already been cutting for however long. I didn't have to tell nobody nothing when I went in there. And I kind of played it like that because ultimately you never really know who's in there for whatever reasons. And I'm not a gloating type of person. I'm humble. I like to play the background because you'll hear a lot more if you don't say much. So essentially, when I seen how many students it was, because barbering school is designed to teach you the information, but the wisdom of cutting hair you learn throughout the course of experiences. So they wasn't going to learn how to cut hair, and a lot of them was frustrated for reasons. So you paying $20,000. So I said, okay, I like a lot of these people in here. I'm taking a liking to them. I'm gonna figure out a way, because I was already cutting the homeless. I did that on my own because I said, if I'm making all this money in the community, I don't see no barbers putting back into the community that they taking money from. And to be honest with you, it made me feel some type of way. And I'm not mad at them, to each his own. But for me, I'm making hundreds of dollars. You get what I'm saying? Like I can make $500-600 in a day. What am I doing for the community? Now, granted, like I said, I did events with kids and stuff like that. But these people are still struggling. But the homeless people, you know what I mean? It's a whole different type of vibe when you got to sleep outside and you don't know where your next meal is coming from. So I didn't want to just be in the middle of the totem pole. I wanted to go to the bottom and, you know, go on up as well. So for me, I said, all right, how can we capitalize on this? I can take them, I can teach them how to cut hair if they're willing to donate their time to the community, right? So I kill two birds with one stone. They get to learn how to cut hair. The people in the community get to benefit from it. And because they was homeless, a majority of them do not care about the type of haircut. They don't get a haircut for style. They get a haircut for maintenance and for mental health. When you don't have your hair cut, when you don't have clean clothes, it wears heavy on your mind. You don't feel like a human. You already getting treated less than by the people that see you and judge you. So a haircut to them breathes life and gives them inspiration to be able to move forward. You know, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but there was several occasions and conversations I had with men and women down there that was homeless that had thought about killing themselves and stuff like that. And one conversation I had in particular, the dude was like, listen, man, I appreciate this haircut. I was like, no, for sure. You know, that's a gravy way, right? And he was like, no, man, I'm not saying the haircut. I appreciate you talking to me, treat me like a human, and just making me feel good again. He was like, I was thinking about going to go jumping off the bridge. And I was like, well, I'm glad that I could provide not the haircut, but just to provide the conversation and, you feel what I'm saying, the substance you needed for your soul in order for you to, you feel me, continue on. Because it'd be hard, you know, it'd be hard. Like, you never know what somebody's going through, so you have to really take time to just step outside yourself, because a lot of the times every day we waking up, we worrying about our bills, our kids, our job, but then it's like it's other people that would kill to be in our position where we so stressed and we thinking about all the things that we don't have, and another person is looking at you like, wow, that person is blessed. So that's how I kind of look at it. And then, you know, like I said, it was a trade-off on both ends. And I was able to teach a lot of students, you know what I mean? A lot of them doing great now. A lot of them in barbershops, a lot of them making a lot of money. And then I say this, I felt some type of way towards people over time when they kind of transgress from doing it. But then I also said, hey, just because this is what I like to do and this is my path, some people take what they need and they continue on for real. But for me personally, I still do what I do because if I don't do it, who will?
Yes,
so,
sir.
you know, I can't hold envy against them or hatred in my heart. I wish them the best and hopefully, you know, their careers continue to, you know, go and transpire to success. But I always say, like, where you give, you have, well, I mean, where you take, you have to give. That's how you replenish it for real. If you pour into a cup with a hole in it, it's going to keep, you know, it ain't going to fill up for real. But if you got a solid cup and you pour into it, you can pour out and then you pour back into it. So that's kind of why I do what I do.
Yes, sir.
That's powerful. Where's Gravy headed from here? Because you're doing so many amazing things. What are the next steps for you? What are some new things coming up?
All right, so for me, I cut hair 7 days a week. All I do is cut hair. I live it, I breathe it, blood, sweat, tears, and years I put behind it. You know what I mean? So I want to still cut hair, but not as much. And I want to teach people how to cut hair. So I was a regular barber when I got my barber license. I'm now a master barber. So now I'm licensed to be able to have seminars, be a barber instructor, and have 3 apprentices. And I want to start a barbering boot camp for not just for barbers, but for fathers that may want to save money and learn how to cut hair so they can save money and utilize that money in, you know, different places. For mothers that want to learn how to cut hair, you know, any family member or anybody that could benefit from learning how to cut hair to save the money because it is expensive, you know. And excuse me, I just want to teach that, and also just, you know, start to just tell people that is a million ways to make money as a barber. I don't really think that people understand how to capitalize on it. I know how to talk to people. I know how to get contracts. I know how to get sponsorships. I know how to do all that. So when it come down, I just want to get these 16 years of experience and give it to the people that are thinking so bleak when it comes to barbering. So that's really what I want to do. I want to take the information and give it away. You know, of course, make some money, take care of my family, but that's not the main goal. I'm going to make that on the side or whatever, and it's going to come, but to give it away because I'm not going to be here forever. So in order for a legend to live on, it has to be passed on. So that's what I want to do.
My last question for you. I just want to know, what's been your biggest inspiration to keep going?
That's a great question. To see how many people I touched and to see how greatly it affected them. Like, over the course of the years that I've been cutting hair, I've seen children grow up to become teenagers, and the conversations that we had, I can't say it guided their direction, because you never know what somebody's doing, but I can say it molded some of the choices that they probably would have made if they didn't have proper guidance, because a lot of them didn't have fathers, stuff like that. But just to see the little bits and pieces that I've instilled in not just my customers, but everybody I've come into contact with, but to see it manifest and, you know, help people grow. You know, that's kind of what's kept me going, because just to see everything that, you know, I made, like, you know, they say you speak life and death out your mouth, and I definitely affected a lot of good lives, and I met a lot of great people, you as well. So it's like to see that and just to never know who you gonna meet. And I'm always meeting people. I've met CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. I've sat in buildings and rooms, like they done rented out whole rooms for me. I done been at dinners where they pay for everything, open bars. It's just, the possibilities are endless. And on top of that, just meeting people and being able to help people. Everything go hand in hand. God just continuously bless me no matter what, no matter the struggles or whatever that I go through as a barber. Me cutting hair became an endless pool to unlimited opportunities. So that's what keep me going, because I never know what's going to happen next.
Yes, sir.
Now that is powerful, and I hope that we'll be seeing you at Speak Life Tour, maybe cultivate some type of workshop for the young guys, or something, because we need you. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. Tell the people where they can find you and what you got coming up, if you have anything to share.
All right, thank you. The only thing I can think about is Instagram. Instagram, the Gravy Master, D-A, not the, people get it confused, but that's, you know, the Baltimore slang, the Gravy Master. And it's the Gravy Master on YouTube and the Gravy Master on TikTok. Tomorrow I got an event at Towson for Black men's mental health. So I'm gonna go up there and cut some of the college students that I attended last year. And it's basically just where we sit down and we have talks about, you know, the things that Black men fear about, you know, just the mental stability of the Black man, and how the communities, the areas, and the people, and things that have happened to the black men, you know, where their mental health is because of it, and how to create healthy habits and kind of get out of that mindset that, you know, everybody's out to get us and stuff. Just, you know, collaborate together and just give them a haircut, sit down and talk. So I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I think it's 5 to 7, and yeah, we're gonna be up there cutting and talking.
Yes, yes. So we just want to thank you, Gravy, for, you know, so this concludes our episode series with the Gravy Master. Again, I am your host, RudeBoyArtist, alongside
MrsMelaninReigns. And make sure you follow us on all platforms at Speak Life Tour, and check out speaklifetour.org. See you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.